The National Association for Veterans Rights applauds the passage of the Choice Act, right, in the House committee, and the defeating of the Guard Act, putting another blow in the detrimental Guard Act, right? Here's what I want to say to veterans: let's not discriminate against honest, hardworking people and companies who work to help out veterans honestly and integrally and who are fair, right? We should not punish veterans by creating another backlog of government assistance by limiting choice and how you acquire benefits. You raise your right hand. You said that I'm willing to go and fight, right? But now you got to go through this red tape and bureaucracy, and then you got to go through this an enormous backlog for a review of your benefits. There's already a lot of mistakes. There's already a lot of flaws. They're already letting go of a lot of the workers. People are getting burnt out, and the proper help is just not there. Let's face it. Okay, yes, claims are going quicker in 2025. However, it's still not addressing the clear and unmistakable errors, the duty to assist the veterans, and all of those things. So why would we expect anything less if only the VA and only VA accredited attorneys under the current system would be permitted to process your disability claim? Okay, plus, what's the charge for an attorney and how long are they going to take? I cannot tell you the countless stories that somebody has used an attorney and they have sat on the claim. It's taken forever just so that attorney gets an enormous amount of back pay. Not to mention, you got to pay a retainer fee. Not to mention, I don't care what anyone says, that attorney is going to get as much as they can get from that back pay as well too. Which again, is that fair to the veteran? Are we moving at the speed for the veteran? Is it all about the veteran, or is it all about our pockets? What I believe is that anyone serving a veteran, they need to be fair, they need to be honest, they need to be integral, and they need to follow the law. There doesn't need to be fraud in it. If somebody can help someone, if we can help one another, then let's do it. Let's do it honestly and integrally. Look, that's what we're doing here on YouTube as well too, and people are getting paid off of YouTube as well too. They're essentially helping you, and there's some very good people out here on YouTube that are putting out very, very good and solid information. Are they accredited? No, but who's to say that you can't go to YouTube and find out the proper help that you need and the proper forms that you need and how to file a claim? Why? Why would that be a hidden secret? You raise your right hand. You deserve to get the help, and you deserve to have the choice as long as it's honest, integral, and not fraudulent, and as long as you are not getting taken care of. If you get help, make sure it's fair, make sure it's right, make sure that it's not screwing you over, okay? And remember this, the benefits that you get, you can't just be stuck in a box, okay? The benefits that you get, remember that they are for life, right? So if you do give somebody something, let's say you give somebody $3,000 for the help, or $1,000 or $2,000, or whatever that is, right? If you get to 100%, or the money that you're going to make over your lifetime, it's probably one of the best investments that you can make if legitimately you're going to get the results in the long run. Again, as long as it's honest, integral, and fair. I'm going to talk about the differences, if you do not know, between the Veterans Choice Act, okay, and the Guard VA Benefits Act, okay? So the Veterans Choice Act focuses on expanding veteran access to health care, including the option to receive care from non-VA providers when VA care is unavailable or if it requires excessive wait times or travel. Look, I went to my primary care doctor with the VA. I couldn't even get out all the things that I had going on because I was limited to under 15 minutes. So that direct care was not there. It's like I was having to rush through everything just to talk about, this is what I have going on health wise. These are appointments that I was not able to be seen for. And not to mention some of the other flaws here in the area of Florida that I live in. The Guard VA Benefits Act, on the other hand, what that does is it aims to protect veterans from unscrupulous individuals. So again, I'm not for that. That's fraudulent. That's dishonest. That's unethical things. A veteran to get taken advantage of. That is not right. That's not what anybody should be doing, right? But it aims to protect veterans from unscrupulous individuals or entities charging unauthorized fees for assistance with filing VA benefits claims. Basically, the core difference lies in their focus. One is on access to healthcare. The other is on protecting veterans from financial exploitation. Okay, so the Veterans Choice Act proposes to improve access to healthcare for veterans by expanding options beyond the Department of Veterans Affairs facilities. Let's face it, we are backed up. The VA is backed up. People are not getting right quickly, efficient times to get in and get seen and get treated and get the help. People are waiting months to get seen for maybe mental health or up to date things. Some of the key features of the Veterans Choice Act are it allows eligible veterans to choose care from non VA providers if the VA care is unavailable or requires excessive wait times or travel. Man, absolutely. As long as it's honest, integral, ethical, right, you're not getting screwed over, right? It's fair, then man, get the help that you need to get the benefits that you deserve because this is complex. This is not easy. We suck up, we deal with things and navigating it. Look, if you don't do it right on the front end, you could be facing that bigger of a mountain to climb up and that much more of a hurdle which could hurt you in the long run and make it that much harder and another 6 months or year delay to get the benefits that you deserve, right? The Veterans Choice Act expands eligibility for the Veterans Choice Program, provides funding and resources to support VA healthcare reforms and improve wait times, and includes provisions for addressing military sexual trauma. The Guard VA Benefits Act, on the other hand, is to protect veterans from financial exploitation. Don't get taken advantage of. You shouldn't be paying times 5 or times 4. You need to make sure that you get a copy of your DBQ and of your Nexus. You need to make sure that you're not just following what somebody's telling you on the other end of the phone just because it sounds like it's good. Okay. You need to get the help. You need to get the documentation. You need to know clearly what's going on, and it needs to be at your discretion, veterans. If you can get the help through your local VSO, through your county, go there. Do it. If you can submit it on your own, do it. I'm just telling you, if you don't submit the right evidence, if you do not do it, you will get denied. You will remain frustrated, but get the help that you need honestly, integrally. Okay. The Guard Act reinstates penalties for charging veterans unauthorized fees for benefits claims. Okay. And again, that's astronomical amounts. Okay. It specifically targets those who exploit the system by charging fees for assistance with benefits claims, and it aims to prevent quote unquote claim sharks from taking advantage of veterans. Okay. In essence, the Choice Act is about ensuring veterans can access timely and appropriate health care, while the Guard Act is about safeguarding veterans from fraudulent practices related to their benefits. Okay. So yesterday, the National Association for Veterans Rights, they applaud the passage of the Choice for Veterans Act of 2025 by the House Veterans Affairs Committee, introduced by Lieutenant General Jack Bergman and co-led by Chairman Mike Bost, Congressman Derek Van Orden, and Congressman Keith Self, all veterans and members of the committee. This legislation preserves veterans' freedoms of choice. What it does is it expands access to accredited representation and imposes new penalties on bad actors preying on vulnerable claimants. Okay. The bill represents a bold shift toward empowering veterans in obtaining their disability benefits, expanding their options under the newly modified VA accreditation program, and allowing them to work with the free market while imposing civil and criminal penalties on those who operate outside the law. This is a major win for veterans across the country. The Choice Act gives veterans more control over their own lives by expanding access to help and cracking down on the bad actors who abuse the system. Stay away from them. If it's too much, if it's crazy, if it doesn't make sense, right? Don't do it. Right. So that's what they're cracking down on. And no one should be getting taken advantage of and used. That's wrong. Nothing should be done fraudulent, unethical or anything like that. Right. You need to get the help that you need, but you do need that choice. Okay. Basically, the Choice Act reinforces the fundamental right of veterans to choose the best service for yourself, which you should have the right to do, not the government. Okay. During the markup, an amendment to replace the Choice Act with the Guard Act was officially defeated. The Third The Third Circuit Court of Appeals recently signaled that the Guard Act may be unconstitutional as it infringes on the First Amendment rights of veterans and independent organizations that support them. This marks the first full committee rejection of the Guard Act, which a failed policy facing legal challenges at the state level is what it is. The defeat of the Guard Act marks a turning point. For too long, veterans have been forced into a one size fits all bureaucracy and approach that limits mine and your rights and choices, is what O'Rourke said. This markup proves there's recognition that veterans deserve freedom, not restrictions. O'Rourke further emphasized, we applaud the committee's leadership and urge Congress to move the Choice Act to the floor without delay. Urgently, passing this bill would send a clear signal that predatory practices will not be tolerated and that mission-aligned entities willing to meet the accreditation standards should be welcomed into the solution. The Choice for Veteran Act has garnered broad support from groups across the political and economic spectrum, including the Center for a Free Economy, the Brotherhood of Maintenance of Way Employees Division, an affiliate of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, leaders in the private sector, and over 20 prominent think tanks, nonprofits, and veteran service organizations. The NAVR remains committed to working with lawmakers and advocates to ensure veterans maintain their constitutional rights, meaningful choice, and access to high quality benefits and support. Okay, so the Guard Act got shot down, okay, which it should. Okay, you need to have the right choice to get the help that you need, but it needs to be honest. It needs to be integral. It needs to be fair to you. Don't get taken advantage of, veterans, as well. So I'm all for veterans having a free will to choose who they want, as long as it's done right and as long as me and you are not taken advantage of as well. And listen, I was someone, honestly, that got taken advantage of by a company, and don't agree with it, don't agree with their practices at all. I could call them out if I want to, but I will not. There's a lot of fraudulent things that they did. However, you know what? I got what I needed. I got the help that I needed. So I am very grateful. And in the grand scheme of things, those benefits do go on. So for me, it was worth it. But because of that, that's why I'm on here. That's why, you need to get the help that you need, but you need to be taken care of and treated fairly, ethically. Things need to be done honestly, integrally. You need to make sure that you get a copy of everything. If you are working with a company, make sure that they give you a copy of your DBQ, of your Nexus. Make sure that you check and find out that the doctor is qualified and all that stuff. If you do need a doctor or you need a Nexus letter, DBQ, or anything like that, look in the description of this video. These doctors are honest. They're going to thoroughly check everything before just jumping ahead and doing, just whipping up something. Okay, so make sure that you get the help that you need. Make sure that you get the benefits that you need, right? And stay in the fight. But again, the Choice Act, in my opinion, is a better option for us as veterans than the Guard Act, and the Guard Act got shot down. So stay in the fight, stay in the know. This is very, very important. Get the help that you need, get the benefits that you deserve and have earned, and stay in the fight. And more importantly, thank you for your service to our country.